This is CPM Precalculus, Chapter 1, number 147. Change the following to radians. Use exact values. Alright, so we're given 3 degree measurements and we want to change them to radians. So what we need to remember is 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. Just like we know 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians. Okay, so this is our conversion factor, meaning we can multiply anything by 180 degrees over pi radians. And that's the same thing as multiplying by 1 because the top and the bottom are equal and it's just changing the units. Or we can multiply by pi radians over 180, right? So we could do multiply by this, or we can multiply by this to get what we want in terms of units. Okay? So if we start with 120, we have degrees in the numerator. That means we want to cancel them out with degrees in the denominator. So that means we use this conversion and we have pi radians over 180 degrees. Okay? So then we just simplify that because now we have 120, the degrees cancel, 120 times pi radians over 180. Okay, so this is 120 pi over 180 radians now. So we already changed it to radians. Now we just need to simplify. So we know if we divide the numerator and the denominator by 10, we get rid of the 0. So we have 12 pi over 18 radians. And then what can we divide the numerator and denominator by? Well, if we divide by 6 in the top, okay, we get 2 pi, and if we divide by 6 in the denominator, we have 3 radians. Okay, so this is simplified. We can't simplify this anymore because these are 2 and 3 are both prime numbers, and we're done with part A. So 120 degrees is equivalent to 2 pi over 3 radians. All right. So part B, again we have degrees. So we want, and this is in the numerator, so we want to multiply by degrees in the denominator to cancel them. So we use this conversion. We're going to use it for each one of these. So we have pi radians over 180 degrees. And so the degrees cancel, and we're left with negative 225 pi over 180 radians. Okay? So now let's just simplify the numerator and the denominator. So how do we do it? Well, we want to just divide by the common factors. So what's a factor of 225 and 180? Well, let's start with 5, right? So if we divide 225 by 5, that's 45. So that's equal to negative 45 pi over what's 180 divided by 5 over 36. Okay, so far we have 45 pi over 36. Well, we can still simplify this more. We can divide the numerator by 3. We could also divide it by 5, but the denominator we cannot divide by 5. We could divide that by 3, so let's do that first. So 45 divided by 3 gives us 15, so we get negative 15 pi, and 36 divided by 3, well, that's just 12 radians. Okay, so we could keep simplifying this. We could divide it by 3 again. 15 divided by 3, we already know that is 5, so we have negative 5 pi, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, so we have negative 5 pi over 4 radians. Okay, and now we have 5 right here is a prime number, so we cannot simplify that anymore. Okay, so negative 225 degrees is equivalent to negative 5 pi over 4 radians. And we're using exact values, so we're not going to plug this into our calculator. Negative 5 times pi divided by 4. So this would be an approximate value, and we want exact values, so we're going to leave it like that. Okay, so part C, again, we multiply 80 degrees by the conversion factor is pi radians over 180 degrees, and that's equal to 80, the degrees cancel out, 80 times pi radians over 180, no more degrees. We can divide the numerator and denominator by 10. 80 divided by 10 is 8. We still have times pi. 180 divided by 10 is 18. Okay? And then we can divide the numerator and denominator both by 2. So 8 pi divided by 2 is going to be 4 pi. 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9 radians. Okay? The numerator can still be divided by 2, but the denominator cannot. The denominator can be divided by 3, but the numerator cannot. So these are the simplified versions, or this is a simplified version of 80 degrees. And these are all the simplified versions of radians from our initial degree values. Okay, this ends CPM Precalculus Chapter 1, number 147.